Mr. Cleaver?
Present.
Mr. Rarick?
Present.
Ms. Stone? Mr. Richard Belts? Absent.
Did he show us on the call, Mr. Cleaver?
I do not see him, no.
Okay. All right, we'll get started, if everybody's okay with that.
Yes.
First topic on the agenda is the Georgia's Transportation Bill. Invoice 1352, the balance due $76,331 for December of 2020. Any questions regarding the bill?
No, I did look it over, Mr. Rarick. Thank you.
Not for me either.
And just for clarification, you'll see the in-town elementary runs are now posted on the bills.
Do we vote to pay for this on this meeting or no?
The recommendation by the committee, we have approval for them to, they're okay with the bill, not any questions to approve the payment.
Okay. If there's no objections, then we'll proceed.
Okay.
The next topic was the Lehigh Carbon Community College budget for the 21-22 school year. As you can see, this is a snippet out of their budget. It is not their entire budget, but Lehigh Area School District's appropriation for the 21-22 school year. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Fifth line down is $188,324. That is a typo on their notation there, 2021, should be 21-22. And this is based on a 5-year average, rolling average calculation that they do for the college. And then if you proceed to the next one, we are responsible for some of their debt service, and our appropriation for that is $46,209. And then the following slide is the total for the district for Lehigh Carbon Community College. Slightly cut off there. I don't know if you can move it to the left, Mr. Cleaver. So again, Lehigh appropriation last year was $183,526. This year it is $188,324. Combined with the $46,209 gives us a total for the 21-22 school year of $234,533, which is a $586 increase over the previous year, which amounts to 0.3% increase for Lehigh Carbon Community College. They also do offer, if we are interested, or if the board would like to see a full presentation on their budget, they do offer that as a service. Any questions on that?
No, none for me.
Not for me either. It's well worth the price.
The next topic is the Ccti, which is our technical institute for our students. Again, Lehigh is the second one down. 21-22's appropriation or share of the percentage is 21.72% or $954,384. And then again, we also have debt service that we're responsible for with the community college or with Carbon Career Technical Institute. And that total for them for the 21-22 school year is $1,349,945, which is a decrease of $34,260 over this year. So this year we're paying $1,384,205, and 21-22 budget is $1,349,945.
Okay, and that change again is based on a change in the number of students we have.
That is correct. Yes.
Okay. Yep, no other questions for me.
Nor me.
The next topic, which the resolution is there, this is our CLIU, Carbon Lehigh Intermediate Unit Budget. This would go to the board, if everybody is comfortable, for approval, once we discuss it here on the Finance Committee meeting. But if you want to scroll down, Mr. Cleaver, the next page is really what pertains to us in terms of cost. So the first one is basically what they call our membership dues, for Lehigh. It's the blackened area over there actually had the district names. We are the fifth one down, $26,455. For 2021, 22 will be $25,220. So that's a reduction of $1,235. And then the big cost from the IU is on the next slide, which is our services that we pay for. So if you want to scroll to that slide. This slide actually breaks down, and it is turned, I apologize. This actually breaks down the services that we pay for. Again, the district total, $1,513,300. And this would be for the 21-22 school year. And it is broken out there by individual services that we acquire from the IU.
Mr. Eric, how does this compare to last year in total? About the same, more, less?
It's actually a slight reduction, I believe.
Okay,
I could confirm that, but I do believe when I spoke with Parabeth up at the IU, it was a slight reduction from last year.
okay, thank you.
Mm-hmm.
Mr. Eric, I noticed also this one says billing projections. Does that mean that this number may vary some depending on the actual services we use?
Yeah, so the way the IU does it, basically they put out their projections in November for the following school year. We pay a 25% of that estimate, and then we pay another 25% of that estimate. And then in the spring, they do a reconciliation against what the actual costs are. And then we pay a percentage and a percentage till the end of the school year.
Okay, so when you say actual cost, is that based on what their actual costs end up being, or what are you?
Yes, correct. Correct. The unknown with the IU is the transportation piece, which is kind of up in the air for everybody.
Right.
So they were not willing to put a number out there. At this point, they're hoping to have a number out there closer to April or May.
That's understandable.
Any more questions on the IU budget?
No more for me.
No,
All right, you can proceed, Mr. Cleaver.
At this time, we have some questions. If there's no other questions from the board?
I think there's more slides though.
Oh, no, that would be the last one.
Okay. The last two topic items got cut off.
Let me, what, do you remember what?
Yeah, it was our Portnoy comprehensive status report for real estate tax collections.
Let's see. Okay, I'm gonna switch screens, Mr. Eric, I'll switch on. I was
Okay.
able to locate those.
Okay.
you able to see that screen, Mr.?
Yes.
Okay, that's the comprehensive report, correct?
No.
That's the second one, that's
The collections report.
Yep. There you go.
Sorry about that, I didn't have those other two weren't added to the.
Okay, so this is the Lehigh Area School District Comprehensive Status Report from Portnoy Collections regarding our delinquent real estate taxes. There's currently 564 files in the program, representing $864,189 in tax base. This shows you how they break out. 160 of those are in legal process, 77 of those are on payment plans, 253 paid in full, and then it continues on down through the list and breaks them out. If you go to the next slide, it actually breaks it out by district or municipality, I'm sorry. That was the previous one you had up.
Okay. Able to see that?
Yeah, there you go.
Okay.
So this is just a breakdown of the previous slide based on municipality. East Penn has 185 of the files of $294,303 of the tax base. Franklin Township 112 files, Lehigh Borough 104, Mahoning Township 113, Perryville 27, and Whitesport 23, which gets you to the 564. The individual dollar amounts are broken down there as well for each township or borough to add up to the $864,189. And then it breaks also out the penalty. Then it totals up the total placement. And then it shows you the base collected of that, which is $407,709, plus the penalties and then interest. So currently 51.9% of that base has been collected as of date 12/31/20 on the delinquent taxes through Portnoy. So considering the economic conditions, everything going on with COVID, I would think the 51%, although not ideal, is better than some other districts. Any questions on the comprehensive status report or the collections report?
Not for me.
Mr. Eric, does Portnoy continue to collect on these, or at some point do they get turned back over to the county?
No, they do not get turned back over to the county. Portnoy does continue to collect on them.
Okay.
There are some old files, it's my understanding we weren't always with Portnoy, so there still are some files with the county that the county is still trying to collect, but Portnoy does not turn them back over to the county. They will continue to collect or try and collect until it goes through the process.
Okay.
And Mr. Eric, am I correct? These are outstanding taxes from not just the previous year, but just the base in general from
Right, correct.
years? Yes.
Correct.
Okay.
And you said there were questions, Mr. Cleaver?
Yes, there's two from the attendees. Make sure, so those are the last two slides, Mr. Rare?
Yes, those are the last two slides of the presentation.
Apologize for that. We do have some questions from the attendees. Mr. Bradley?
Yes, good evening. Okay, I got a couple questions. First of all, the question I have is that the agenda lacks discussion on the annual financial report that was due back in October. The next question I'd like to have the government address is the fact that we have a budget that's due coming up, and we have not seen preliminary budget numbers, and we haven't seen the AFR, which gives us some of those information, nor the data that creates that information that was finalized back in June of 2020. And here we are almost 7-8 months later looking to find the documents and information. You need to show us the money. You have a union contract coming up that's worth about half or more of your budget, along with their Cadillac plan of benefits. It seems to me that it would be logical that if we increase the salaries of our employees and reduce the district consumption on benefits, that the employees would be better off in the long run, especially since the state subsidizes some of that PSER money. And at the end of the day, the employees would be in a better state and the district would be in a better financial state. And none of those conversations or deliberations are taking place in any of these meetings. On to Portnoy, you have a very litigious agency hammering down onto individuals with financial trouble that, in the event they do not pay, added to their burden is additional litigation by an agency that we hired to be our hammer. And those are the people that you don't want to add extra fees to, because in the event that they walk away from their homes, we're out years worth of tax revenue on some occasions, and also the burden of our students not being supervised because they're grandparents that can't afford to live here anymore because of the overzealous litigation that takes place by this district. And that thing that was hidden underneath the concept that Mr. Rarick said, the process. Well, the process is extreme litigation, and that penalties collected and all those dollars come from the weakest payers in the system. They already are behind, and now you're adding extra burden, threatening to take their houses if they don't, quote, pay up. And that to me is immoral. And then back to the mere fact that we apparently have a problem still with our board of directors that are a part of this government meeting, acting as a rubber stamp, not questioning anything, providing no oversight for what's being presented. And then even then, in violation of the Sunshine Act, Mr. Foeller made recommendations without first seeking input from the community as a government action, as a government agency. You cannot take official action without first providing the public. I had my hand raised. You got to give them the opportunity to speak. And with that, I am disgusted by this board. I think you guys should resign. The fact that we don't have an AFR, the board should resign. The fact that you don't have a budget to help these people out, you got problems. You're not doing your job. The fact that you have waited months and months on this union negotiation without any furtherance in that, and we've even apparently in the board meeting had grievances that are taking place because of it, because we don't have the professionals that we need to help negotiate this contract. And then you got this Sunshine Act and these Portnoy problems. I'm wondering why none of those things are on this agenda and why the conversation is not occurring in that regard. Please address my answers, or answer my questions and address my issues presented to this government agency in this committee meeting at this time. Thank you.
Mr. Bradley, regarding your accusation that I took official action, no official action can be taken. This is a committee meeting that will be taken in the board meeting. The public absolutely has the opportunity to comment, as you just did in this meeting. And I believe that opinion has been reaffirmed multiple times for you by our solicitor, and your accusations there are not appreciated.
Mr. Foeller,
And also,
you're wrong. You're wrong.
Wanted to
Hold on,
address
Mr.
the
Fuller, let's
contract
hold on a second.
negotiations. Those negotiations are not part of public meeting. When you're dealing with contract negotiations, and that too has been reinforced and stated many times over. Thank you. Ms. Bose? Ms. Bose?
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, I have a couple of questions here. Sorry, I have to get up to that part. The collections report states that there's 51.9% collected of the base. But it's actually $40,805 less than 51.9%. 51.9% of the base amount would be $448,514. Less than 47.2% was collected according to the report. I mean, I know it says 51.9%, but the numbers don't add up to that. Now in the other report, the comprehensive report, it was only 47.2% of the total placement was collected. And it gives an unclear picture of actual collections. Now, on the comprehensive report, what does in legal process actually mean? Does anybody know?
I would have to clarify that with them.
I mean, I can assume it means it's now going to court and there's attorneys been hired.
Well, Portnoy themselves is our basic attorney for processing these. So it's kind of a vague, you're right, it's kind of a vague description in legal process because in my opinion, once the collection is already in their office, it's in legal process.
Right,
Because it's out of the tax collector's hands at that point.
Right, and I would like to, I mean, I know that they charge a late fee and stuff like that, which you can see on the reports. But in legal process, now I know on the one, it states, number one is the initial notice is mailed on March 10th. Then number two, the footnotes, includes base, penalty, and interest collected. And then footnote number three is number of files paid in full without attorney's fees. So in legal process, I just don't know.
Yeah, I can clarify that for you. That's not a problem.
Thank you, I would appreciate that. Other questions. I don't remember ever seeing the November George's bill. I don't have it in my files and I save everything when it comes through. So there is no bill for November for transportation, but we're looking at the one that was sent in December and came in January.
And Ms. Bose, I will check and get back to you on that.
Because on the bill payment, we paid $75,858 on January 13th, 2021 for regular transportation. And it was approved in the board meeting of January 25th. My guess would be that's the November bill, but it wasn't in the finance minutes for November, and that might be, there was no finance committee meeting in December. But it's been missed and it needs to get put up there. Now, that's not our total bill with George's when these bills are approved, because we have charges from George's Transportation for athletics transportation.
That is
So
correct.
where are those numbers approved?
Those are part of the bills. Those are actually billed separately.
I know, but where's the itemized bills for the transportation?
They are part of the athletic budget, and that is part of the bills. When the board approves their monthly bills, that amount is included in there.
I understand that, it lists the total. But in the athletic meetings, there is no, at least in the pertinent documents, there is no itemized bill presented for transportation. And I don't even see it mentioned in the minutes, it's not on the agendas where they're approving that amount. Now, I think, both the public and the board should be getting those itemized invoices, because as far as I know, it is billed separately with an itemized invoice.
I did look back on our January Finance Committee meeting, which was January 11th. The November George's bill was on that agenda for approval.
Yeah, but was it ever put up on the website? That's my question.
Oh, that, it should have been included because I think we posted it when we went through the meeting.
Because I make a point of saving all that stuff and I don't have it. And I have a separate file for each meeting. So I'm wondering if maybe it was not up there.
Yeah, we just confirmed it is on the website.
Okay, because I couldn't find it.
Yes.
Another issue with today's, when you went to the, I don't know what you call it, the important messages, and you clicked on the link that said to see the agendas, you know, where the meetings were moved and this, that, and the other thing, it went right back to that page again. Somebody should check that link.
Barb, did you scroll down? Because that you have to go look for it. After you do that, it does come up, but you gotta look for it again because it's gonna stay on the important message.
Yeah, I did scroll down, but
Okay.
it did say specifically that to see the agendas, to click here. And previously, it went to whatever page that was on, because it's hard, can't find it in the files and documents section. I couldn't find the, athletic committee agendas in there either. I know I've seen them in the past. I didn't have a lot of time to look through it today. It's not really user-friendly. We do have a spot for agendas for the finance committee and I believe policy. But it would be nice under that particular spot in files and documents if the rest of the committees, their agendas could be included. Now, there is a spot for all the committee minutes, just not for the agendas. And like I said, I didn't have a lot of time to go through it today, so I could have missed it. I could have missed the November George's bill, but generally I save all that stuff immediately.
There is a, on the website, I think they've been migrating everything to the calendar. So when you actually click on the calendar with the day, you'll be able to see what committee meetings are scheduled. And then once you click on that, you'll be able to see all the information.
Okay, I mean, it would be, it's just people get used to doing it one way. You know, and it makes it difficult if you don't know that things are being done differently.
Absolutely.
So that would be my, you know, I mean, can we make it a little bit more user friendly? And maybe that's what's trying to be done now. I don't know. But if we had a spot where all the agendas were available, they would be available when you went to look back without having to go back in the calendar.
Right, I understand.
So,
yeah, we could definitely discuss that.
okay, and in legal process, it would be nice to know what that actually means.
Absolutely, yes, we will look into that.
Look at the numbers, for the percentages recovered. That should be looked at too, because it's not right using their own numbers. It's not right. Now, this is for 2019. And that was pre-COVID. No, it wasn't. Yeah.
Yes, it was.
Yeah, because it wasn't until March of 2020 when all the.
Yeah, COVID hit
Bam.
March of 2020.
So I'm just wondering, is there any idea of how much worse it is for the 2020 year as far as collecting taxes?
From the reports and calls I've been on with the IU and other districts, they're estimating anywhere from 2 to 5% less collection of real estate taxes
which is a lot better than I expected.
Yeah, I would agree.
And there's no real numbers yet on the local income tax, how that's been affected, correct?
No.
I know I worked, being an essential worker, but a lot of people didn't, and I'm concerned about where this is gonna leave us at the end of the year. All right, thank you.
No other comments? Mr. Eric?
I still have my hand raised.
Okay, if there's no other
I
comments,
have other comment. I have my hand raised.
we can adjourn the meeting.
No, can I
Make a motion to adjourn?
I'll second it.
Thank you, everyone, for participating and attending.
Thank
Good
you.
night.